eyes. And Stanley threw me a tidbit by saying I could choose a couple of breasts myself. So he had all these pictures. What he did was, he had these lovely girls come in. Oh, I see the Shakespeare, yes. See what you're getting at now. He had them come in. There was a poor man, this is before they put everybody on video, but so this casting director called James Liggett, long gone I'm sure, he would take these girls who would come in, you know, topless, and go, "Now is the winter of our discontent. My glorious father's June." He'd zoom in on the tits, of course. Who wouldn't? And so they're spouting the Shakespeare, and their breasts are bobbing around. It's disgusting. What a way to cast a movie, Stanley! And then he'd pause it and he'd take a picture. And then he called me and he said, "What do you think of these?" And I went, "Oh my God." Beautiful pear-shaped. Oh, melone. Oh my God, is this real? This is before fake tits, by the way. 1970, England, very backwater. So I picked a couple. And of course, he being the director, he picked one more. And I just said to him, "Who are they?" And he turned over the picture. Now this is Kubrick. Nothing got by this man. Nothing. Turned over the picture. And he goes, I don't know. He'd never bothered to attach a name to the text. Talking about, you know, we're getting a bit risque, but there is a sequence with the William Tell overture of there's a sequence of a little orgy with two girls, and I knew that Stanley fancied the brunette. Because I could see the way he changed his behavior. Now, of course, happily married man, I'm not saying anything. And, of course, Jesus, with children and everything else. And, but human, after all. And so, I said, "Well, how long is this shot going to be, Stan?" He goes, "Well, I've got the Mitchell camera in the doorway, so he couldn't get onto the set, because it was a real apartment in a block. And so he had the big Mitchell camera, which took up the whole of the doorway of the apartment. And he had me in there with these two beautiful girls. I mean, they were very... anyway, there was a blonde and a brunette. And I knew he fancied the brunette. So I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Well, this is going to take 28 minutes. But this is a lens that I used in 2001. It's going to be cracked. It's moving like so slowly." Now, Pablo Ferre's here, and he knows this is a true story. He did all the titles for the film, and Pablo was around at the time. Anyway, so we undress. He's shouting out. You couldn't see the man. You know, it's so fast. So he's going, "Okay, take your pants off. Okay, so now take her knickers off. Take her bra off. And okay, on the bed. Okay, that's it. Great. Give her more." So then, that was the blonde. Here comes the brunette. I'm gonna get my own back. So I strip her off, get her on the bed, start doing the business. Simulate. I'm an actor, for Christ's sake. could ever get a hard on, right? I mean, doesn't happen, I swear to you. Anyway, so I hear Stanley going, okay, that's enough. Oh no, Stanley, it's not. That's enough, Malcolm, that's enough. I gave her a thorough going over. He couldn't get at me. He's stuck behind the camera. And I hear, cut! I mean, did you say something? I didn't hear what was going on.
You know, it's funny how you can get you sort of you become very schoolboyish and petty with directors. I used to wind Oliver Stone up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, because he was very vain. So all you had to say to Oliver was, "You all right, Phil? You okay?" And he'd go, "Yeah." Why? I don't know. You just look a bit pale. And then I would like go off, and 10 minutes later be walking through, and he was there with the medic.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you find these little ways that you can
Find a little Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Because...
So the brunette was the Achilles heel.
Yes, and then, so a week later, Stanley, we were sitting having whatever, Chinese or something. He said, by the way, he had a theory about the Chinese restaurants in Boreham Wood. The worst food I've ever eaten. I think they serve dead cats. And he loved it. And he used to say, it's late, I got to get something to eat. Let's go to the Chinese. Oh, Jesus, is there nothing else? No, there's nothing open now. Just the Chinese. So we go there and he'd say, you know, they're all spies, don't you? What do you mean? He goes, oh, these waiters, oh, they're all spies for the Chinese government. I mean, you know that. I said, no, I didn't know that, Stanley. And you know what? I think he was right. Anyway, I was going to tell you. No, the brunette went up to Stanley and said, I want my name taken off this movie. So her name is not in the credits. And he said, but why? She said, because my family in Australia will be embarrassed to see this. And I was behind her and I was saying, quite right, can you take my name off it? He had two people. He had another actor who said, here's the script. He came up to me and he goes, he gave me the script back. I went, so? He goes, nobody ever gives Stanley Kubrick a script back. I went, why not? Maybe he thinks you need it. He goes, no, they want them as a souvenir. I went, oh really? Gee. Well, the guy was Anthony, what was his name? The guy that played the Minister of the Interior at the end. What happened was he had a long, you'll see it, dialogue thing. Right at the end, I'm in the hospital bed, and I could see Kubrick out of my periphery vision, just looking at his watch, yawning. And I go, oh God. I just don't want him to recast the part because he'd recast 28 actors already. So I had to reshoot all the scenes. You know, yeah. So, luckily I wasn't one of those 28. Anyway, so he basically has the wrap-up of the movie, you know, and he's feeding me and stuff. And so to hurry things along, get the guy moving, I just did that with my mouth, like a cuckoo in the nest, to get him to move on, get the food in and get moving. And I look over and I see Kubrick stuff his handkerchief in his mouth. He was laughing so hard. And he made the whole scene about... And the guy was so pissed about that point, he just gave him the script back and he goes, I think you may be needing this. Kubrick was like, did you see that? Did you see that? Well, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw that.
But it's amazing how things you do, you know, there's a great deal of, you know, when people talk about acting as this sort of very sort of mysterious thing. There's a lot of, forgive me, bollocks.
I'm glad you said that.
Right, a lot of bollocks talked about.
Of course.
And then you see, and that moment is so, it is so memorable at the end of the film, as you say, like a sort of, like a cuckoo in the nest. And that it came out of frustration. It's amazing how these little sort of moments that you can see in film that are just purely in the moment. The camera was rolling, you did that thing, and it woke Stanley up.
It not only woke him up, but then this is the genius of the man, you know, that he wasn't tied to storyboards, and he, you know, obviously not, because it took a year to shoot the bloody movie. You know, hey, it's not happening today, let's pack up and go home, I'll rethink it. And that goes on for a week, you know, sitting there for a week, trying to figure out how to, the droogs come in, rape the girl, and, you know, kick the other guy in the bollocks.
But what makes him, I think, Kubrick special, and this is what makes, I think, the great directors, is it's having that instinct and the ability to notice something, to always be watching.
Yes.
That's if you want to call it genius, that's where it is that you are aware, so that you capture those moments.
Yeah.
You recognise them and capture them when they happen.
Well, look, you know,
that's a gift, and that goes for anyone who's in
for acting too, right? Same thing.
A musician or you know,
or painter, whatever.
It's across the board.
Yeah.
It's that thing. I think it's a thing you can't teach. You can hone instinct because you can do something and practice it, but you can't teach it. You can't give it.
No.
It's the sort of thing that you have, and that's probably, and that's, I'm sure that happened, I mean, throughout the film.
It did.
Where he was...
It did, you know, I remember